Okay, guys, I guess all of them have no people are still joining. Okay, I got a question, guys, here, offline question, and I guess it was a good question. Uh, can you guys see my screen and hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a question here. It was an offline question. Uh, Add me to the Google. I'm unable to locate this file in Google Drive. Yeah, we'll discuss that. Let me first cover this. Yeah, sure, both of you. Okay, right. So, got a question here that is SaaS only for end users? Because two examples which I shared, Google Drive and Gmail, most of the time you have seen these services are consumed by end users. Though I mentioned that Google Gmail it gets used at the corporate level also, but that was the question. So to answer that, no, SaaS is not only for end users. Companies, they do use SaaS. Example, I'm not sure what kind of software do you guys use in your company, but these are very famous. One of them is Workday. Workday is one of the software. It is a SaaS software. It is a SaaS model where some company will approach Workday that I am not going to code anything. I'm not going to deploy anything, nothing. I want you to provide services to my employees. Now, what kind of services Workday provide? Leaves, salary slip, appraisal letters, that kind of services. But being a pharmaceutical company, I do not have that expertise and I do not want to hire an IT company and do this, right? So I am approaching Workday that I want you to do this for my company. How much will you charge? And then Workday says, okay, how many employees do you have? XYZ, whatever agreement they do, this amount we will charge you. Right? What will they do then? They will share a link. Okay, this is the link using which this link your employees can access our portal and then they can use the services. They can check their salary slip, they can check their leave balance, they can apply for balance, they can fill their appraisal form, they can discuss things there, they can appreciate each other. I mean, whatever features they want to give. So this is one of the examples how company uses software as a service. There are many of them. This is the only one example I have shared. When once we start our training and once we go ahead and see more topics, you will understand this. But is it clear? When I say SaaS, software as a service, this is not only for end users. This applies for uh, companies also. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Serverless computing. I said we'll do that later. Azure, we already discussed. Now, what is Azure? You should be able to answer. The architecture component of Azure. What are the architecture component? Now, it sounds very maybe a heavy word, but just ignore this. So, what are the components? Remove the architecture. Then, what are the components of Azure? You will see. So that will look a simpler question. Okay. Now, when I say components, that what are the ways to access that, or what are the ways it works through? That is the question here. So, the Azure access to Azure portal that can be accessed using Azure services, you can say, that can be accessed using Azure portal. What is portal? We will see that using a web browser. It can be done using Azure PowerShell or operating system PowerShell. Azure PowerShell is a different thing, and operating PowerShell is a different thing. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with PowerShell, but this is called PowerShell. PowerShell is nothing but just a command line. Okay, for example, I want to see that which version of Windows I am using. So I can go ahead here and I can go to setting, maybe I can go to about or somewhere here I can see. I'm not even sure kahan par dikhta hai wo, maybe about. Let me see if I can. Okay, here I come here and I see I am using Windows 11, okay, Pro version or whichever it is. Okay, this is what I am using. So I had to click twice or thrice to get this. Similar thing I can do using a command. What is the command? That's winver. That is a command which says Windows version, and this is what I get as an output. It went to my first screen, so I'm just dragging it here. Okay, this is how it looks. So PowerShell is nothing. It is just a way to do things using commands. Okay, so similarly, Azure, there's one way which you can use using portal. This is Azure portal. I can come here, I can create a machine, I can create a storage, I can create a user, I can delete a user or whatnot, whatever we are planning to do. I can create a resource group. We can do it from here. So that is one of the things. I hope guys this is visible to you, right? To everyone.
Sir.
Okay. So Azure portal, the one which I shown you now. Azure PowerShell. What is Azure PowerShell? When you go to Azure portal, under Azure portal also there's a PowerShell. This is the one here. It's a called Cloud Shell. This is also PowerShell. So you can put some commands here and you can get your work done. This is also possible. If you're good with commands, you'll do it from here. How it helps? It is faster, it is quicker, and it gives less chances of errors. And you can do multiple things. If I have to create 20 virtual machines at a time, I can do this using portal one by one. But it's a time consuming thing. It's today it's called automations day nowadays. So you can do the automation, you can type the script here. Okay, you can do it from here. So this is Azure PowerShell, and this is my operating system PowerShell. This is in my Windows. The only difference here is the moment I open here, it is connected to my Azure account. If I give some command, it knows that the command should go to which account. Okay. But this PowerShell, this is not connected to my Azure account. So here I'll have to log into my Azure account first into this PowerShell. And then whatever command I give, it will go to my Azure account.
Sohail bhai,
So
I have a question.
yes, please.
Sohail bhai, what is the difference between PowerShell and CMD command prompt here in
It's an
Windows
upgraded
version?
version, you can say. CMD has limitations. CMD has less commands. CMD doesn't work on latest operating system in the similar manner how PowerShell works. And PowerShell doesn't work in old operating system. In fact, old operating system did not have PowerShell. PowerShell was introduced in server 2K8. So PowerShell is an enhanced version where you can do more things in a granular way. For example, in command, I can give a command that what is the Windows version of my operating system. I can get that. In PowerShell, I will have more detail that what is the Windows version, what are the, uh, is it a 64-bit or 32-bit, and what all machines are connected to this, what are the versions of them. I can export that report to an Excel file, I can export that to a CSV file or maybe a notepad. So these kind of features, but the concept is same. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. So I have a last question that the same command will work on CMD as well, Windows version.
Few of them work, few of them don't work. WinWar, yeah, this command is for both of them. But there
All
are
right,
some
thank you.
commands which will work only on PowerShell. There are some commands which will work only on CMD. And you don't even have to go and open CMD. Just in PowerShell, if I type CMD, now I'm using command prompt. Here, if I type PowerShell, I'm using PowerShell. That's all.
Thank you,
Though
Sohail
you
bhai.
can open CMD differently. You can open CMD. That it's nothing like that. You can't open. You can open, but you can do both things here. This is CMD. Here it is. It's written command prompt. It is Windows PowerShell, but you can uh, twist it from here also. Okay, and you can use
All
the
right,
commands.
all right.
Okay, is it
So
Sohail bhai, is it a paid thing that we have to pay for this
no, it's
PowerShell?
a no, it's a part of your operating system, and it's a part of your Azure subscription. It's nothing paid. It's a free feature they have. Okay, next is REST clients, the APIs which can be included to your app and linked to access Azure resources. Now, what are APIs? That's a whole together a different technology. I will not be explaining that here, but I'll give you an idea that what are REST APIs and what are how it works. So REST APIs are, let's say that I have an application. Through that application, I want to give some command to my Azure portal. I have few new engineers. I don't want to give my Azure portal access to them. I'll just give them an application, and through that application, they will just give some commands on that application. Maybe it is a very simple application. Maybe it will have a button called create virtual machine. So once they click on that create virtual machine, that API will send the details here with command and everything, and one virtual machine will be created here. That is how it works. And if someone knows a better explanation of this, someone has who has been working with REST clients and APIs, they can explain it, but you don't need to know more than this. That is not your job and you won't be working on this. Any issues related to REST APIs, you won't be troubleshooting them. Most of the time developers will work on them, or API owner or whoever has shared the details, they will do that. Clear?
Yes.
Azure PowerShell and Azure CLI will connect to SDK. SDK will connect to Azure. This is the architecture component, that how it works. When I give some command, it goes to SDK. SDK will go to Azure Resource Manager. That's okay. You don't have to understand it well. But if someone is asking a question to you, Azure architecture component, try to give the complete answer. And trust me on this, they are not going to ask you what are APIs. They're not going to ask you what is SDK. They're not going to ask you what is Azure Resource Manager. They're not going to do that. I told you that there are some questions which you can just learn. There are some which there are most of them which we have to understand. So in Azure architecture components, this we understood well. This you just simply mug it up. You read this, you explain this to them. Okay, we used to do we put some scenario and make it a customized answer. That okay, when it comes to Azure components, architecture component, I know that it can be utilized, it can be accessed using Azure portal, it can be which can be via web browser, it can be done using Azure PowerShell, it can be done using operating system PowerShell, it can be done using Azure CLI. Okay, it can be done using a REST command. And once you explain this very well, then you can say these two words, and that's all. No one is going to ask you. Is it clear, guys? Anyone has any question in this one?
Is it possible if you can just explain once again, Soil by please?
Sure, we'll
The
go to
first
portal.
one only, the first one. Yeah.
Which one? Azure portal?
No, no, the first sentence only. The four ways that you said now.
It's
If
simple that how will you access Azure? Now we have been discussing that Azure has its data center and we can rent machine, we
Mhm.
can rent storage, right? But how to do that?
Okay.
Will I call someone and do it? Will I send a letter? Will I send an email? No. They have portal for that. We'll have to log into their portal. So now what we can
Okay.
do, we can log into their portal and we can do this using GUI, graphical user interface, where you click, where you drag, where you mention something, where you can type something. What is the other way? It's the PowerShell. Same example, I just shared in one example with you, right? If I have a task that I want to see which version of Windows I'm using. So the graphical GUI way, the graphical user interface way is I will require a mouse, this one. I will click here on Windows button. I'll click here on settings. I will go to about. I'll click on about and then I'll see, okay, here it is. This is the RAM. This is the details. These are the system details. I wanted Windows version. I got it. I want the system details. Okay. How many clicks I had to do? 5 clicks. And after this, I'm getting this data. Let's imagine that I keep on getting these requests. How many times will I do these clicks and everything? Do I have any other way? So I'm saying yes, my operating system has PowerShell. In PowerShell, you can simply type WinWord and you will get that information. You simply have to type one command. You're saying, okay, but here I'm not getting this RAM and everything. Do we have any other command? I'll say, yes, we have another command also, system info. And you'll get the complete information. In fact, more information what you see in GUI. So this is how I'm completing my task. I'm getting some information. So in similar manner, when it comes to Azure, if I want to do something with Azure, I want to request a machine, I want to request a storage, I want to shut down a machine, I want to turn on the machine, I want to create a resource group. Now, what are those? We'll see them later. But what are the ways to do that? One is I can log into the portal and I can do this using by click, like I did for version to see the Windows version. Another way is Azure PowerShell. For Azure PowerShell, you'll still have to log into Azure portal and then using PowerShell. Or you can use operating system PowerShell also. But here also you'll have to get connected to your Azure account. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, Soil by yes. Now
Anyone who
clear.
still did not understand, don't feel that this is a silly
Uh,
question or I explained it twice already.
I yes, yes. I am asking one more thing. Maybe it sound like stupid question. Can we use in my system now at present this
Yes, why? I'm not
PowerShell
sure
and all?
which system do you have?
I think so. It's a company laptop. I don't know that also.
Now, which
So what
operating
we
system do you have?
Okay, let me check that thing.
No, is it Windows, is it Linux, is it Mac?
Windows. It is Windows.
So you can use, unless your company policy has blocked PowerShell, you can use. As far as I understand, your company has not blocked PowerShell, so you can use it.
Acha, I can okay. We are using. I have a Chromebook also. The company provided. I think so. We are using the PowerShell over there in that laptop. Okay, that is similar then only.
Right. Okay.
Okay, got it, Solvay.
Yes, guys. Any other question? Yes, guys. Any questions do you have? Yes, no, maybe. Did you understand? Did you not understand? If not, then I have a question for you. Please feel free to
We
ask if you
understood
have a
soil well. Yes, we understood soil well. Thank you.
difference between PowerShell and CLI. Okay, good question, Nelson. I was about to ask if you wouldn't have asked. I was about to ask that we discuss Azure PowerShell, but no one asked about Azure CLI. Command prompt I was showing, that was Windows command prompt. No one asked about Azure CLI. So good question. I was expecting that. So Azure CLI is nothing like you have PowerShell here, like we have in Windows, we have PowerShell and command prompt. Similarly, in Azure, we have PowerShell and we have Bash. Bash is nothing but CLI. Yeah, this is your Bash scripting. Now, what is the difference between command prompt, PowerShell, or Bash or PowerShell? This is not the scope of this training. Someone who knows PowerShell, they will know that there are some commands in PowerShell to get some result. There are some small commands I have to do scripting in PowerShell, but similar thing I can achieve using Bash. There are few things which I cannot get out of Bash. I will have to use PowerShell. So what are those differences? That is not the concern of this class, or that is not the scope of this class. But this is what it is. You have Bash, you have PowerShell. You have command prompt, you have PowerShell in your Windows. Okay. So I hope this is clear now. REST APIs, that's all. Whatever I have explained, we will be discussing that much, not more than that. Is this clear, guys? Should we move ahead?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, Sohail.
Okay. So what services Azure provides? Before we go to this, now let's quickly start and have a look at the Azure portal. Okay, so let me open the browser. So this is the Azure portal, guys. Here I have logged in. That is the reason it looks like this. But how will it look if you do not log in, if you do not have any access? What is the first look of Azure? So let's see that. I'll open the another window. The address is portal.azure.com. It will drag you can simply just Google for it. Okay, portal Azure login. Do this, and the first link which you get, I'm not sharing this link, guys. Yeah, you can obviously Google it. So click here, then you get this signing, the login page. Okay, guys, so you get this login page. Now, will you be able to log in if you have any, unless you have any subscription or any ID or anything? You simply cannot go ahead and sign in using your account, signing using your email address. So the two options are here. Uh, do you have any questions, Atar bhai?
Yes, Sohail bhai, is it necessary to log into the Microsoft Azure? Should we have the Outlook email address, or any other email address will also work?
We'll discuss that. We're just coming to that.
Okay.
Okay, so the methods here are either someone who already has Azure, they will create a user ID for you. Okay, they will create a user ID for you and they will give some access to you. For example, you have joined a new company, they have Azure, they want you to work. So now they are not asking you to create a new account. What will they do? They will create an account for you and they will give it to you. And you will log into that account using the password and user ID what your company has shared with you, and you should be able to start working. So let's see that. Though we will see how to create account, that is a different topic. Hence, I'm not getting into the steps here. As of now, I'm just creating an account in front of you guys, and I'll show it to you that once you log in, how it looks. So these are two methods when we try to create some user. We have methods. I can invite an external user. I can create. What is the difference between inviting a user, creating user? Everything we'll see that later when we come to our Azure Active Directory topic. So do not worry about that. Okay. Here, that is not the topic. The topic is just to see portal. Hence, I'm creating some user here. We have Leo today, right? I saw him, I
Yes,
guess.
Sohail.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say that I'm creating this account for Leo. Either I can choose the password or I can use the auto-generated password. Yeah, here. So what I'll do here, I'll copy this. If I have to send it to someone, I will copy and paste it and maybe send it via email or whatever method your company follows. So this is the Leo's account. This is the password. I can choose the password also. If I generate the password, that will also work. But let's go with this one. And I'm creating an account for Leo. Why am I able to do this? Because I already have an account with Azure. I already have a subscription with Azure. That is the reason I am able to do it. So we'll come to that also. If you do not have, if you do not have footprint on Azure, so what to do? Okay. So now I have given access. Let's say that I have hired Leo to work for my company. Indexion has been done. Everything is done. He's got his laptop. Now we want him to start his work. I've asked the team to share his credential. Leo got his credentials. So the Leo will go to portal here, log in here with this ID, Leo at ut-cloud.in. This is my tenant with Azure. I will explain it to you what is tenant and everything. As of now, the aim is just to see the portal. Okay, this is my company. This is my space on cloud. Every company will have their space. Otherwise, everyone will be able to log into everyone, see everything. That should not happen, right? So this is how it will look. I'll click next. Password. Because this is an auto-generated password, it will ask to reset the password. So I type the password. And this is how it looks. Now Leo is logged in to my Azure account, to my company. Now if you see it, the upper right hand corner, can you guys see my cursor? It
Yes,
shows
sir.
Leo at utcloud.in.
Yes.
Okay, just because Leo has logged into my Azure tenant, that does not mean he has sufficient accesses to log in or to do to work on that, right? That is a different method. We'll discuss that. But is it clear? Do you see the portal, how to log in, and how will he see the portal once he logs in for the first time? This is
Yes,
one
Sohail, I
method where
understood.
someone is granting you some access to their company. Now, for practice, if you want to create one account, or let's say that you are planning to have your own company and you want to create a new account, so how it looks. So let's go to portal again. Again, we are on the same page. This is how it looks. So what option will I use here? Create a new account. This you guys can also use, but do not create accounts, guys. We'll discuss and then we'll create it. And yes, to answer your question, we'll require a Microsoft account, Satar. So even if you have one, it's well and good. If you do not have one, get a new email address. New email address could be anything. Let's say again we go with Leo. I'm not sure if this name will be available or not, and we are not even creating this name. I select this, click next, say it has been already taken. This is available. I'll have to create a password, do some next, check in and everything. And once everything is done, you will be logged in to your own Azure account. Is it clear till here, guys?
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Okay.
Yes, Sohail
Well,
bhai.
Swell bhai, I have a question that we have to pay anything to create an account, or is it free?
Well, we're coming to that. We're coming to that. Till now, you did
Okay,
not pay anything, right? You didn't pay anything till now, and even if you do this, you're not paying anything.
okay.
Okay, let me go back again. Let's say that even if you create an account, how will it look? It will look similar to what we saw in Leo's account. This is how it will look. Let me log in. Yes, Leo, you have some question?
Yes. So is it where we are creating an account in the Active Directory?
Yes, I created that account in Azure Active Directory.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how it looks, guys, right? This is how it looks when you create an account or when someone has added you. Now, just because you are logged into Azure account, that does not mean you have any sort of access. If I click on virtual machine to see that how many virtual machines UT-Kloud has, or can I create a new virtual machine under UT-Kloud? See, you will not have any access here. You're just logged in. You're just a part of that company now. You do not have any access as of now. Even if you create a new account, to answer your question, I guess Satar, you asked, or whoever asked that question, uh, you do not require any money till here, but you do not have any access till here. Now you want to do something, right? You logged in. What is the use of login? You want to do something. Now, what is the next step? You will require a subscription. Here, this is the part where credit card and money and everything comes to picture. You'll require a subscription. So again, two methods. Either I can give access. UT-Kloud has subscriptions. Okay, I've created an account for Leo. I can give him access on my subscription. I can do that. Or if it is purchasing a new subscription, that is a different thing. Here, and one account can have multiple subscription. So here I have two subscriptions. This is my Microsoft Trainer subscription, and this is my paid subscription where my personal credit card is linked. Okay, so this is how you can see your multiple subscription. So I can give access to this subscription to someone. For example, Leo, I can give access to Leo, and then he will be able to see. Now let me give access to him. I'm giving access to him on one of the subscription. My account has two subscriptions. As of now, I'm giving access to only one subscription. I'm not explaining these steps because we are going to cover that later. At which role am I assigning? Why am I assigning this role? Why not other role? We'll do that later. Here, I'm just explaining the portal to you, how it looks, what will it look like without subscription, how will it look like once you have the access to subscription. That is what we are doing. Understood, guys? So I'm not focusing on those steps.
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Okay. I may have to log off and log in from his account just to see the changes, but we'll see. If it works well, that's fine. So now I have given access to Leo on my subscription. Now let's go back and see Leo's account. This is how it looked when he logged into my account, when he logged into my tenant, but he did not have any subscription. Now I have shared the access of subscription. Now let's see if he sees something here. We'll have to refresh or maybe log off and log in again. And sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't work. See, he already got the access. That is the reason he is able to see that what kind of amount is pending in this subscription. But this is what I get monthly to utilize, and we will have to utilize this whoever are working on my subscription. So make sure you do not overutilize it. You do not waste the money so other are not able to practice. Do not do that. We'll discuss that again. But here Leo has got the access to subscription. The moment he has got the access to subscription, now he can go ahead and see how many virtual machines do I have. It says trying to fetch the additional details underlying the API. So it may take some time, or the another remedy could be just log off and log in again. Let's see. So I have logged out from his account. I will log in again. I'm logged in, and let's see if it works fine. Yeah, it is working fine now. Now Leo is able to see that I have one virtual machine in my subscription. Okay. Now he wants to create a virtual machine. Will he be able to create virtual machine? Yes. Will everyone able to create virtual machine? That we'll see later. That what kind of access you can give, what sort of restrictions you can apply. We'll see that later. That is not the scope right now. I'm just showing you the portal. This is how it looks. So yes, he has got the access. Now he's logged in. He can see everything. It's sorted. Can he see the Azure Active Directory? Yes, he will be able to see. He has got the access. Can he create a new user? He will not be able to because some accesses are not given to him. Now, what are those accesses? वो सब हम बाद में discuss करने वाले हैं when we discuss that topic. But is it clear how the portal looks? How the portal looks without subscription? How the portal look with subscription? I described how I can invite someone. Invite as in as of now, just consider that invite. Literally invite meaning is something different. We'll see that when we go to user section. How I can create a user on my portal. How I can create a user in my subscription. How we can create a new user. Now talking about a new subscription, let's say that Leo wants to start practicing. He doesn't have any access to UT-Kloud or any other one of you want to start practicing. Let's say Satar Bhai was asking, right? So I told you that you go ahead and create an account first. You create an account here. Once that account is created, you'll have to log in again. Once you log in again, you will see your account without subscription like we were seeing it in Leo's account. Now, how to get a new subscription? Let's see that. Do not do anything, guys. Do not purchase a subscription. Don't do anything. Okay. Just explaining it to you. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss the complete method in today's session only. That how are we dividing that? I'm still yet to finalize the people who are joining. Some fees discussion are pending, some timings and some things are there which needs to be finalized today. So before next weekend session, we'll have our final group, and accordingly we will divide and do the things. As it is today, I'm not giving any homework where you will require the access to subscription. So that's fine. You can simply log in and just check. You can create your own accounts. Yeah, one thing you guys can do, go to portal and create your account. Do not do it now. Focus on what we are learning now. After this training, I'm saying go here and create your own account. Now we are already logged in, so we are not able to see. I'll have to open another window, but I hope you got the point, right? What I'm trying to say. Create your account, not the subscription. I'm asking you to just create your account on Azure. Okay, guys? Is it clear to everyone? What do you have to do?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Is it at the rate outlook.com or it should be some different one? I'm sorry to ask.
Whatever it is offering you, and whichever you like, that's fine. Go to Azure
Okay.
portal. If you like Outlook, that's fine. And another one is, I guess, live.in or Hotmail, whichever you like, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to subscription, guys, how to purchase a subscription, I'll show it to you. Please do not purchase now. Leo can see one subscription because I have given access to Leo on the subscription. If he did not have a subscription, he will not see any subscription here. And if you do not see any subscription here, you can add subscription from here. So I click here, and then we can talk about pay as you go, Azure for student, and free trial. Which one to take? You are eligible for which one? Azure Pass sponsorship. Sometimes I do get coupons for this sponsorship. Whenever I get, I keep on distributing because I don't use them. Being a trainer, I cannot use them, and I cannot. So I have to distribute them. Okay. Sometimes we can utilize a Visual Studio also. If you have a license for Visual Studio, I have used it once. So we will explain this everything, that how to access it. Do not go for pay as you go. This is directly you will start paying from your credit card. People who are student, I guess Naved, if you have any ID card or something, you can utilize this one. But we'll discuss that later. As of now, just wanted to show you the portal, wanted to show you the login page, wanted to show you the subscription. So are these topics clear for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions do you guys have? Yes, guys. Any questions anyone has?
Okay, Sohail bhai, just wanted to know, as you created a Leo account, Leo at UT-Kloud. So, and the other thing is that Outlook. These are two different thing, or this is one and the same?
No, the Outlook one was I was showing how will you create your new account. Leo at UT-Kloud, I have created Leo's account in my subscription. I already have Azure account. I am already a tenant on Azure. I already have a subscription. Let's say that I have hired Leo and I want to work for me. I want him to work for me. I want him to create some virtual machines for me. So I'm giving him access on my cloud. I'm not asking him to create something new. So these are two different topics we discussed. One, where I showed how to give access. We'll do that in detail. Don't worry about that. That is not the topic we were covering here. We are just, f- have the feel of this portal. Can you show the steps
Yes.
once again if you no, Nelson, I told you we'll do that later. It's okay. We don't have to check the steps now. Right? We are definitely, that is a topic. Azure Active Directory is one of the important topics we have, and we'll see that in detail. So we don't have to do that here. You won't even understand right now. Here I'm just
We will
talking
be
about the portal. Yes,
we
Murtaza.
will be going through all the services also, right? Like
No,
Kubernetes,
no, no,
SQL,
no,
database.
no, definitely not. Kubernetes is not a part of this training. Kubernetes, it's part
Okay.
of DevOps trainings, and we
Oh,
are
okay, okay.
definitely not doing all the services. Azure has
Okay, okay.
1500 plus services. Forget doing it.
Oh,
I don't know. Forget me. There are hardly people who will know 1500 services, and you don't even need them. You will have to focus only on those services which an Azure administrator will require. Why would you require services which an Azure developer needs? No one is going to ask you that. A DevOps person will require some services. You don't need to learn them. And a developer, he will never ever come and learn the services which an administrator requires. So you are not going to learn complete Azure. We are learning Azure Administrator. So the services which are required for Azure Administrator, we are going to cover all of them. And
okay,
Kubernetes is not one of them for sure. It is Azure DevOps. And unless you
okay.
understand Azure Administrator Cloud, you won't even understand Kubernetes. So guys, only 1 minute is left. Do you want a break before next session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
a then it's 3:20. We'll see in 5 minutes, 3:25. Whatever time is in your watch, count 5 minutes from now, and we'll join the session using same link.